Hey, what's going on, everybody? Wyatt Hertz here, back with some more Homefront action from the OnLive game service. And looking at what we're playing, it's Green Zone, Team Deathmatch, and Battle Commander. And, well, let's take a look at this charge coming in right away from Toolman. A quick little C4 scraps his ride and sends him to the next life. And initially I thought I took myself out with the C4. I didn't know what was going on. Of course, there you saw it, Duck Loco, lurking in that little alleyway with a dumbfire missile launcher on his shoulder, and he put me down. What can you do? Anyway, let's take a look at the gun here. What is this? It's not the gold standard by any means, and it's almost blasphemous for me to swap out that kit and modify it in any way, but I have. That's what I've done. Swapped out the camo and everything. Don't really know what to call it. If you guys have a good idea or something, certainly leave it in the comments, and maybe I'll add it in on the next commentary when I get a video of this weapon set up like this, right? So let's take a look at the gun, though, see what it is. T3ak, silencer on there, and the infantry abilities are full stability, so steady aim and straight from the hip. And you know what? I mean, it's not bad. You saw it there, some good hip fire, taking down Plumfly, who was prone up on that rooftop, and then, you know, some great aiming down sights, iron sights there, fire, through the fence on Duck Loco for a little revenge. But right here, it's just, I don't know, once you get to that range, that range that Silent and I had between us, right? When we were furthest away from one another, when he was behind the car, I don't know. The spread on the hip fire with straight from the hip in there still seems a little bit too wide. You know, a little bit too wild for me. Maybe I just haven't used it enough set up like this, but the T3ak kind of notorious for having that wide spread from the hip, you know, and it doesn't really tighten it up much with the straight from the hip in there, or at least that's what I've noticed here so far using the gun like this. But maybe if I use it a little bit more, it'll feel a little bit more comfortable. We'll see. I'll try and get some more footage up, try and use this gun set up like this a little bit more in the future, and hopefully I'll get a few good rounds. Now, on the ground, it wasn't too bad. Had a couple of decent moments, but really, I brought in the 1500 BP early on, and I come in here in the bird, and really, the rest of the round is me in the air. So you guys that like the helicopter gameplay, you're gonna love this flight, okay? I do some scout work, end up in the Apache just on the final stretch of the game after finally getting put down, but there is a lot of opposition that comes this way. We're talking rhinos, at least half a dozen rhinos come out, including the Humvees. You saw Toolman's there early on, who was sending a little spray my way, but I did scrap it. And just a mild barrage of, you know, dumbfire missiles also came my way, so it was a pretty intense flight. Now right here you see Timmy. You know, the kill on him, that, you know, I put him down and it prompted him to bring in the tank. And really, you know what? You saw my numbers in the title, 33-3. He does match that pretty nicely, 33-7 for Timmy, and it almost becomes this race. Now, this will be a loss for me, for the team. And like I said, it does become a race. Who can bring in the more kills first between Timmy and myself? Him in the armors, me in the air. And we end up even Steven at the end, pretty much. I think his team did a little bit more work to help secure victory, and I think they beat us by about 15 kills in the end. Now, unfortunately, there you saw it. His repairs came in. I had been trying to chip away at him. However, without the faster reload in there on the scout, it can be difficult putting down an armor. And some great spotting there. XP 3000. I cannot say enough about that, and I'll probably mention it again at some point during this commentary. You know, just some great spotting down there. A lot of diamonds were coming up. He marked that tank consistently. I spotted it a couple times, tried to chip away at it, but I just couldn't rally the team behind it, you know. Either that or they just couldn't get to him. He was putting them down too quickly, or he had a nice swarm of friendlies of his own all around him, keeping any ground forces from doing any damage to the tank. So he had a good run down there on the ground, and he'll bring in a second one once that one gets scrapped as well. Now right here, getting pinched off, you have seen the rhinos I've been dealing with. Warren Dorr, notorious for bringing out the rhinos against my birds, but it's all for naught. I mean, he eventually puts me down, but not with a rhino, and he brings out about 5 of them. At least 4, maybe 5. There's another one right there. Put it down, and you notice that whole little ordeal over there with Pone the Noob, who in the Humvee, trying to get a better vantage point, backing up as I was hiding him behind the wall. He's backing up, trying to get a better vantage point. It ended up costing him because he wasn't on the turret when I finally did pop out, and I was able to make quick work of his ride. Now there's Timmy. He's obviously fallen, and he's back in a new armor, looking to go on a new run, and he will, as I have to deal with these impending missile locks that continue to come in from War Indoors Rhinos. Now right here, watch between the buildings. I almost avoid all of them, but one does manage to squeak through as I'm waiting for the flares to recharge. Does a little bit of damage. I made a good hustle in behind cover and a nice steady hover here next to the building, but did take a little bit of damage through the exchange. Now right here, coming back out, there it is, pulling the noob, one Rhino, War Indoor, a second Rhino, and some great spotting from XP. Not only is he lighting up the Rhinos, he's lighting up where the operators are and any more opposition that might be down on the ground. I mean, it was just a nice clean sweep. He lit everything up. I knew what to do. And when that happens, when you light everything up, I can plan ahead in those few seconds I get to try and, once when they're highlighted like that, and even through tree cover, I can kind of plan out my line. Those couple seconds really do make a difference. And you know what? It showed this round. A great co-pilot gave me a great round in the end. Now right here, I had a lot of problems taking out Silent Kill. This is the second pass on him. I haven't been able to put him down yet, and I get a little too determined to put him down. Now Warren Door is out there with yet another Rhino, and I have to finally deal with that. He did do a little bit of damage, and Toolman doing some great scrambling down there. I finally, our movements finally crossed paths, at that sharp angle, and I finally was able to just put him down with a couple of shots from my main guns. Now I'm hiding in behind here. I am flashing. I am in the red. I've taken some serious damage. XP, just don't back down now, son. He's screaming at me from inside the bird. A little comic relief here in these tense moments, and we've closed the gap to about 7 kills. That's about as close as we get to actually tasting victory, tasting the lead. They start to pull away one more time here. Timmy's obviously doing some damage somewhere in his tank, and I haven't been able to find him. There he is, right there. Try to get a couple pot shots his way, but I'm taking a lot of fire myself. And Warren Door, despite all the Rhinos that came out, finally puts me down with some LMG fire. So good on him. Good on him. He earned that kill, but it goes to show just how weak I actually was, that he was able to put me down at that range with just a couple bursts of LMG fire, Now, I'm in here in the big guns, the Apache. I knew I had seen the score, and I knew if I had any chance of trying to bring in victory or help bring victory to the team, I had to deal with that armor that Timmy's rolling around in, and I had to deal with it quickly, So that's why the Apache or the Chimera here came in. Unfortunately, I just couldn't find him. You saw that great little swoop underneath the billboard, however, after a bump with my friendly pilot, who is also in the Chimera, which he ended up getting grounded from after taking an EMP blast. Now, right there, the kill on Duck Local extends our lifespan just a little bit longer, but there it is. Timmy, aiming the cannon down in between the buildings. Not sure if he got the last kill or not. I was just finally lining him up, but it was too late, They already had 99. So what was that, 10,000 to 8,600? It went by pretty quickly there, 10,000 to 8,500. So we lost by about 15 kills, but a good round, a good match, and a great flight there in the Scout. I'm glad I got that with all that activity, all that opposition that was coming my way. Managed to survive it and rise above it all. And 33-3 for me, so some great numbers there. We'll take a look at a couple other names and numbers. Hulain, not too bad there with a 9 and 11, considering he probably had to square off against Timmy's tank a few times. And Paul Demi there, 7 and 8. So on the other side, though, actually, you know what? We need to go and mention XP 3000 for some great spotting. The 5 and 7 doesn't really do justice to the work he did in the game there, because he's responsible for those big numbers, at least in part for the big numbers that I produced. It's always much easier to fly that bird when somebody is marking everything that's down there, and that's what he was doing. So anyway, good on him. Now onto the other side, and the big player over there, Timmy 333 with a 33 and 7, or at least the big performer that round, with the 33 and 7. So a great run for him. It was kind of a race. We ended up kind of tying in the kills. I really did dominate him in the experience, however, because of that massive run in the Scout. And right below him, Silent Kill with a 10 and something. I can't quite see what it is. War Endor, need to mention that guy. 8 and 6, about 5 rhinos. You know, just unbelievable opposition coming my way. He really is persistent about trying to scrap my birds. So good on him there. Gonna get got with a 7 and 6, and Plumfly there with a 7 and 7. So, you know, a little bit. That's where the difference was made, I think, in those numbers. Just, you know, those extra guys, those extra 4 or 5 guys that managed to stay on the plus side of things on their side, whereas looking at my team, not too bad in the kill column, but a few too many deaths over there, you know, for everybody other than myself, of course. So anyway, guys, thanks for checking out the vid. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, well, you know what to do. You leave a comment or a like and subscribe to the channel. And and until next time, guys, remember why it hurts. Later.